Hello and welcome to the King Heroes Journey podcast. My name is Beth Martins, and I wore my leather jacket today in the great honor of Alex Michael coming on, conspiracy music guru. Super excited for this conversation. It's been a while in the coming. I'm not sure what took me so long to ask. And do help us share out this video. It amazes me to no end the degree to which my little podcast is censored and shadow banned, but it would just be great if you wanted to share this with any friends. And if you're not familiar with Conspiracy Music Guru, he is he exposes the world's greatest deceptions with lyrics that inform and teach, and together with an understanding of the power of 432 hertz, which we're going to talk about a lot today in the secrets of Solfeggio sound. His music delivers a natural vibration which has had a profound impact and resonance with his fans. Conscious music is what the Conspiracy Music Guru is all about. Alex Michael, a multi-instrumentalist and music producer, is the mastermind behind Conspiracy Music Guru and is passionate about truth, as passionate about truth as he is about music. His music is diverse, covering musical genres from comedy country with the popular character and album Flat Earth Man, to instrumental healing music with his albums True Solfeggio Volume 1, 2, and I believe 3 is coming. His latest album, entitled Black Sheep, utilizes rock, while the album Unplug has a more a natural, softer acoustic sound to convey the truth-filled messages. So you can find reviews of his Solfeggio recordings here, very extensive. I'm going to drop this link in the chat, and it's in the notes below as well. And he's got a number of websites. So the one that you're seeing on the screen, healingfrequencies.net, is more obviously related to the healing frequencies. And here is another one of his regular not regular websites, but Conspiracy Music Guru websites. And without further ado, I will let you know that I am bringing Alex on right now. Hello and welcome, Alex.
Thanks for having me on. I'm glad our paths finally crossed. As you can see, I'm also dressed like a rock star tonight with my, my leather jacket. And, and I want to say, what took you so long, Beth? Come on.
I don't know. I think I reached out to you once and I wasn't successful at, and I thought, he's too big, or, I'm not big enough for him yet.
No, nothing to do with that. It's to do with my own confidence. Really, I get asked a lot and I usually go, do you know what? If they really want me on, then they'll ask me again. And I will usually wait for someone to ask like 2 or 3 times. Because I'm not, as I said before we came on, I'm not this confident talking head. I like to use music to communicate through, rather than, because I feel like every time I have a conversation like this or an interview, it's like a spotlight is shined on me. And I must say something, intelligent, but really, at the end of the day, I'm just a working class bloke from Essex who, picked up a guitar, also found some truth and decided to put those truths into music. What I didn't realize is that that would resonate with people, and people would want to then talk to the man behind the music. I wasn't quite prepared for that. But here so I had absolutely nothing to do with what you are. I've seen you on, we're friends on Facebook, and I've seen you do the rounds, and you've had discussions with many of my good friends, Dawn Lester, Steve Faulkner, Mike Wilkinson, all good friends of mine. And so I was thinking, I wonder how long it's going to be before we cross paths. But so anyway, here we are, but it's got nothing to do with it's me, not you.
That's fun. And I actually do have a policy: when somebody doesn't respond once, I'll always make a second and sometimes a third approach. And then by then I'm going, okay, I'll get the message here.
Yeah. It's probably good, to send. I do remember the first message you sent, and maybe I was just like too busy at the time. I was like, no, I'm just a little bit. So yeah, it's not you, it's me. But yeah, I'm glad you reached out a second time, because otherwise this wouldn't have happened. And do you know what? This interview, if you want to call it an interview, I've actually been really looking forward to, and I'm actually a little bit nervous as well. So, I resonate with you. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And I find you incredibly coherent. And that's at the level of sound first, before I actually had more of an idea of what was going on in your life and your mind and that kind of thing. So it's beautiful. I've always tuned in with voices from my earliest days of listening to music, to me, I wouldn't hear lyrics. I didn't even know what a guitar sound was. I didn't understand that there was this whole arrangement of music going on. All I paid attention to was the voice. And so that was a big discovery. I'm like, oh, that's a guitar. Oh, right, I play that. And started
I was the other way. I'm completely the other way around. I'm terrible with lyrics. I never listen to lyrics. The lyrics are just this thing that happens to be on top of the music. I'm listening to all of the composition, all the guitar. I'm thinking what instrument, what chords are being played, and that's the thing that fascinates me is all the music that's going on. The lyrics kind of get in the way, and with the solfeggio stuff, that's why the solfeggio stuff has kind of been, quote unquote, my most successful albums, because there's no lyrics to get in the way. It knows no language barrier, so someone in China can enjoy those albums. So for me, it's been like the music came first with that, and I'm terrible at remembering lyrics of songs. I'm one of those people that get all the lyrics wrong to songs because I'm never concentrating on the lyrics. It's all about the music first. So I guess we look at music in totally different ways.
Well, interestingly, I never heard the lyrics either, only the tone of the voice. So I'm just like you. I didn't learn the words. I faked my way through them so I could sing, but I never cared about the words. And then lo and behold, so many of the lyrics are paired up, like beautiful, amazing music is paired up with lyrics that actually really degrade consciousness. So I was strategically blocking it.
Yeah, and I suppose most of us do. Yeah, they do get in the way, some of the lyrics, I think. But yeah, so the instrumental stuff, I think, why isn't there more of that around? Because my solfeggio stuff has had profound effects on a lot of people. I put the albums out there just as an experiment, because I learned about these solfeggio healing frequencies from a guy by the name of Jamie Buturf, Buturf. And this is an experiment. I put those frequencies that he was talking about, the ancient solfeggio frequencies, and I infused them and embedded them into some instrumental tracks and just put them out there as an experiment. And the feedback that I got, which I never asked for, I didn't say please do, and I just started getting these messages with people having profound healing effects and spiritual effects, and people being cured of arthritis and sleep apnea and sleep paralysis and insomnia and children being calm and pets being calm. And it was like, there's something about this kind of instrumental music. It's just like, it's almost like the lyrics and the words get in the way. Why can't more music be like this? It's like I'm trying to do the polar opposite of what the controllers of this world want musically. Because if you listen to the music that's out there, it's absolutely awful. Rap music, people like Cardi B singing about a vagina, and rap music and gun culture and drugs and hoes and blah, 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 blah. Let alone all the stuff that was coming out of the 60s and all that culture creation and social engineering. And that's not really music. And it's been so bastardized from what I now understand. It's been just everything from chord progression to lyrical content to the frequencies that are put into it to the backmasking and everything. It's just like when you zoom out and see music as the whole, and you just see it for what it is, it's so lower minded. It's not the higher minded classical music that we had 100 years ago, where music would take these, peaks and troughs and take you on a musical journey, and they were mostly instrumental. Then you could really lose yourself in those musical pieces that went on for 20, 40 minutes. And now we have the 3-minute pop song with, the 3 chords, the blues music, selling your soul to the devil, that whole thing, like that all the Beatles music and all the country music, all of that. It's just like music has been so utterly bastardized now. And I see it now to the point where if I'm in the car and I turn the radio on, and and I have to turn it off because I know the agendas behind it. So I'm trying to do the polar opposite of that. I'm not saying that I'm doing it correctly, but I'm doing it, as far as I'm concerned, in the right frequency, instrumental, with the right intent, and it seems to have a profound impact on the listener. So I've learned.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I love it. So many things I want to respond to there. When 2020 hit and the gauntlet was off, I'd been awake since 2015, 16. And I'm just like, okay, that's it. No more. I can't hold my tongue anymore. I broadcasted and I lost everything in the process, gained everything in the process too over time. And I just stopped listening to music entirely. I did have favorite bands and artists and things, you just want background or I want to sing along. That's always my thing. I just want to sing. and I couldn't anymore. I couldn't put it on because I
Was
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 too
was
aware.
Mark Devlin instrumental in this? Was his work instrumental in your mindset towards like recent music?
A little bit,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I can be a skimmer. I just come and I take a little bit here, take a little bit there. But it was more. I could finally perceive it. The
right.
engineering, the manipulation, the mix. It's trauma-based mind control because
Totally.
they're right. They're romancing your soul with the beauty, and then all this crap comes in while you're all ooh la 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 la.
Yeah, there's all the crap that you don't even know exists in there. They could be, just in the same way that I can put healing frequencies into music with the right intent. Well, look, the dark forces in this world can do the exact opposite, the polar opposite. And it seems to be what's happening, with certain synth sounds and, certain backmasking and frequencies, let alone the 440 hertz, let alone the compression that we are now subject to when you put a song on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify or whatever, or any of these streaming platforms. They compress the shit out of the music, and it removes 90% of the audio information. I had an email today actually from a friend and a fan of mine who wanted to do some relaxation. She knew about my Solfeggio, so she listened to those albums on my YouTube channel, and she'd listened to them before and had a profound impact and had some really nice relaxation experiences out of it. She said, "All right, just for ease, I'll put it on YouTube and I'll put the headphones in." And she said it didn't have the same impact. She said, "I'm sure YouTube are screwing with the frequencies." And I said, "No, they're not altering the frequencies of the music, but they are compressing it." And she said, she then went off to listen to the uncompressed full quality WAV files from my website, and she had a completely different experience. She said only then that she have the relaxing experience that she was after. So it's very interesting that these platforms are compressing the music and removing 90% of the audio information. So everywhere you turn, even on your favorite Spotify, where you can get billions and billions of songs for just $10 a month, you're listening to shit. You're listening to absolute crap. I'm afraid. All the good audio information is removed. It's tuned to 440 hertz, and I think that's probably a big problem in this world. I mean, if all the music that was released was recorded in 432 with the right intention, and and these dark overlords not praying over the master in their little, in their studios, and all the dark stuff that I've looked into, music could really change the world. But unfortunately, we're subject to this crap.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah. And that's exactly how art can. Someone told me don't say our controllers anymore, but those guys, that's exactly how they work. They take a good thing and they turn it upside down. So
They've done it with everything, haven't they? They've done it
yeah.
with the information. They've done it with health. They've done it with education. They've done it with the very air we breathe, the food we eat. They've done it with everything. So why not music, the thing that we love the most? So of course it's going to be one of the things that of their go-tos that, this thing could be spiritually transforming. Of course they're going to attack that. And it seems that they have. And with they've been very successful at it, it seems.
Yeah, indeed. That's the romance side of things. I just wanted to go back a little to a couple of points too, also around classical music. And it's funny when you talk about the instrumental, that's priceless for me because I like to write. I like to, like when I work, I use my mind, and I cannot have lyric music. It's just my mind goes to the tone of that voice, and that's what I'm hearing.
It gets in the way.
It gets in the way. And then if there's any, ideas that now do get in through the lyrics, I'll be thinking on those. And so, yeah, the instrumental is good. The classical music like I grew up on that. So that was a little bit in my blood and my bones. And my parents would drag us to a symphony now and again. And I actually didn't like it, but I did learn to like it one day when I was driving along, and I just started playing with singing to it. Like, you're not supposed to sing to it. I'm going to sing to your stuff, by the way, when I have some spare time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I love singing to the unsingable because you find really interesting ways to interact at a vocal level. I'm curious, do you like classical music, first of all? Is it something that you would put on for pleasure?
It is now. I didn't used to, but when I realized how much music has been bastardized, and I realized the further back you go, the less bastardization you see with music. And I started to, just listen to some classical music in 432 hertz. And I started subscribing to a lot of 432 hertz classical channels on YouTube. yes, the music is compressed and blah blah blah, but I just wanted to see how it resonated with me, and I was actually quite shocked at the intellect that lies within classical music. I even have a favorite piece. It's Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto. It goes on for 40 minutes. It's the most, I mean, it's astounding. It's absolutely incredible how somebody could come up with such intellect and higher mindedness when it comes to just chord progressions and it blows my, you will never see anything like that in today's pop music. So, and there's no lyric, like you say, the lyrics getting I often wonder, like, should music just be music? Why are we shouting over it? Why are we singing over it? Why are we getting in the way of it? Maybe music should just be instrumental. Maybe we should be resonating with the violin, and some of those violin solos or piano solos can really, really move you to a point of tears. And if you start putting lyrics over that, if someone started to sing over Rachmaninoff or God forbid rap, I mean, it would just take on a whole different meaning, wouldn't it? So I often wonder whether lyrics on top of music is a bastardization of music in itself. So to answer the question, yeah, I never used to be a classical music fan. I just thought it was just it was weird. It just. But now I get it. I get why intelligent people listen to classical music, particularly in 432 hertz and unbastardized and uncompressed. If you're listening to, Verdi was a 432 hertz guy, and so if you're listening to Verdi in 432 hertz uncompressed, then you can probably really appreciate what music can do for you. And I'm trying to do something similar to that. I don't think I have the ability yet to put together an orchestra and things like that. I don't have the budget for that or the space, but I could probably do it digitally. But I think that's where music needs to go. We need to go back to that uncompressed 432 hertz instrumental, even longer pieces, like the 3 or 4 minute, 5 minute pieces are just like, and it's like an insult on intelligence, really. It's reducing attention span. I think that's why the 3-minute pop song was invented, and I think that's why classical music can go on for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, because it requires your attention. And it's been bastardized on so many levels. But yeah, I'm slowly starting to appreciate classical music more, because I know that's for the more higher minded. But we've been beaten down with this 443-minute pop song and catchy chorus for so many years. It's almost hard to break out of that programming.
Indeed. Yeah. I heard you talk a little bit about the attention span. That there's some good people and questions coming up in the chat that I'll turn to next. But yeah, that attention span of a nit. I actually refuse to spend time on TikTok because it's exactly that.
Right
it's,
on.
It's the and it's so emptying when you go and you scroll through and you can end up with a huge TikTok following, but nobody engages with you because they're just doing this. Right. So it's not, I don't know that. Yeah, that's a waste.
Yeah, TikTok is not a place for Rachmaninoff, is it?
Not so much. Not so much. I'm going to go look up that concerto, actually.
I'll send it to you. If you forget, I'll send it to you. It's outstanding. It's just like, it's what music should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember the name well, so I'm sure I'm going to recognize that. So heavy metal musicians are often classically trained. Did you ever get into that genre at all? You obviously have the rock sound as part of your palette.
Yeah, before I was more awake to music. Yeah, I mean, anyone that picks up a guitar, the first thing they want to do is play a power chord. They want to plug it into a distortion pedal and play. Oh, by the way, compliments on your son's playing in the intro. That was outstanding. Reminds me a lot of Hendrix and Steve Vai. Brilliant playing, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good. He's only young, isn't he?
He's going to be 19 in a few days. Yeah.
I already hate him.
There you go.
I see so many young players coming through that are just absolutely brilliant. There's a guy called Mateo Mancuso. He's playing in Spain. I hope to go and see him. He's not even 30. He's probably the best guitar player in the world. I'm like, it makes me want to throw all my guitars into the bin. Sorry, what was the question? I completely.
Oh, it was just about heavy metal and. I was asking for my son's sake because he listens. He's not a headbanger. He hates headbangers. He doesn't want to be with those people. He's listening for technical, the technician side of things. And I've been on some road trips where he just keeps sampling me through his heavy metal. And it's pretty intense, but I totally, like, I'm never going to say, no, don't listen to that. And he'll warn me like, hey, these lyrics are really weird, but this is what I like about it.
Yeah.
And so
I think it's a necessary process for him. I think he has to go through that rock. I mean, if I was to advise him in any way, I would say, yeah, enjoy the rock, but for the love of God, tune it to 432 at least. Because then when you're distorting a guitar, what the distortion is actually doing is giving you more overtones and more undertones. It's giving you a bigger sound. You want those overtones and undertones to be, how can I say, to be more mathematically spaced and whole number ratios in 432. You get that. So you get a better sound. And I do think you'll get more of a healing sound. The rock music that we have in 440, like take Metallica. I used to be a massive Metallica fan, went to see them. And now I recognize that for what it is, of course. So I've kind of, keep that at arm's length. But I did love that stuff. Now I just wonder if, you were to take those power chords and put them in 4/3. And I've done a whole rock album in 4/3 hertz. I think a lot of people say 4/40 is more aggressive. So if you want the aggression, then tune to 4/40. Well, there's a reason why so many teenagers that listen to rock music 8 hours a day, like Metallica or name your rock band. There's a reason why they're so aggressive. There's a reason why they're so irresponsive. There's a reason why they're so moody and grumpy. It's because they're listening to this harsh rock guitars in 440. I would suggest tune it to 432. You might have a little experience. You might actually be able to talk to your child. I think that, it could be that profound.
Right. Well, luckily, Liam was never ruined by this. He never went dark or angry or bitter or all of those kind of the grumpy, like you said. Luckily, so let's turn to that.
He's very lucky because there's a lot that do. I mean, I think it's a necessary. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the rock guitar. I'm not saying rock guitar equals bad. Rock guitar in the right frequency, with the right intent, can be incredible and incredibly powerful. I did a whole album, just being angry, and it was my therapy. I don't need a therapist. I need a microphone. And during that whole COVID thing, I was like, why can't you see this? Why can't you are television watching news believers? Why? I told you so. And it was just like shout. So incredibly therapeutic for me. And that resonated with a lot of people as well, because I think, the right intent, the right frequency. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of little variables that I think you can tweak to make it more, more profound on the end listener and better for your health as well, I think.
Indeed. All right, I'm turning to the chat a little bit. Hello, Elisa. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. And
that's a nice comment. Thank you.
Yeah, how beautiful is that? Called you a bloke. And Mr. Spacebusters, who couldn't have a conversation without mentioning our good friend Steve Falconer in common. And he says struggle he went through to get through the meltdown therapy and coming out the good side. You can hear each movement go from frantic to beautiful in the third stanza.
Right on, Steve. What's up, bro? Me and Steve are going to hook up soon. We have to. He was supposed to come in Christmas, but he's got some issues like me. Where it comes, but I won't say too much about that. But we're gonna make up for it, Steve. We're definitely gonna make up for it, mate.
And I want to sing with both of you, so just so you know, that's on my bucket list.
All right, you're gonna have to come to Spain.
yes, because you're both there, exactly. Rachmaninoff's the second was a masterpiece. He had to go to a psychiatrist after first one flopped, and the critics, after such high pressure was put on him. Rachmaninoff 2 was his. He's
Wow, I didn't know that, Steve. That's fascinating, man.
Right, was a musical interpretation of the mental. Amazing, yeah.
Wow.
He's Russian, is that right?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, and Miss Dawn Lester is in the chat. Thanks for being here. She asks about opera.
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Interestingly, a lot of opera singers say that they can sing better in 4/3/2 than they do in 4/40. They find 4/40 a bit of a strain. I do think opera is a little bit of a bastardization. And again, lyrics get in the way. I've not really studied opera as a genre. I find it quite comedic. In fact, I've often thought about doing a conspiracy song in opera just for a laugh, because I think I can do an opera sort of sound. You've got to just sing from the gut, right?
Yeah, do it for us.
But it's not something I've really studied or really enjoyed, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think, again, I think the lyrics get in. Do you like opera, Beth?
You know, I find it melodramatic, and I can't stand that. So,
Okay, right. We're on the same
yeah.
page. I was being polite.
Yeah, the dramatization of emotions, it's so fake and gay. I just can't stand it. That's not our right. That's not our true nature. The emotions can flow authentically and nicely, but that is like this. And
yeah, it's a bit
yeah.
much. Yeah, I was being polite. I've never really warmed to it, to be. I mean, maybe I should give it a second chance with my new understanding of music. But I don't know. It's a little bit, like you say, it's too dramatic for me, really. I think if you looked at the underscore of it and looked at the musicality of it, I'm sure it's brilliant. So why put that? Oh, piss off with that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I really wanted to play some of your music here, but I might get a strike for it. Darn it! Or could I?
It depends. If you're doing it on YouTube, the only problem is you won't be able to monetize the YouTube stream. The stream will stay up, but you just won't be able to monetize it.
I don't anyway. So
well, then you can do it. You won't get a copy. Yeah, copyright. You'll get a copyright notification saying, by the way, the music that you used in this stream is owned by this fellow Alex Michael, which means you can't monetize the stream, and that's basically it. It's just a notification. You don't get a strike or anything like that.
Oh, good to know. Yeah,
you'd only get a strike if you use the music, and I was like, how dare you use that music? I'm going to strike your channel from the artist. But I'm not a prick. So
right. Okay, maybe I misinterpreted, because even when I use my own music on streams, I get warnings. I'm not sure I got an actual strike, so it might be what you're saying.
Yeah, probably just be a notification, just saying it has no bearing on your channel, but just to let you know that you can't monetize it because this music is copyrighted in some. So if the music that you're writing is copy, when you say your own music, what do you mean?
I have 4 albums. I was going to send them to you so you could hear. Yeah, I've recorded and written a bunch of music. And
oh, right. So the good thing is at least YouTube knows that it's copyrighted material. What it doesn't know is that you're the owner of that material.
That's it.
Right.
Exactly.
So straight on that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I played something off my Spotify the other day on a stream, and it wasn't flagged in any way. So I don't know. It might be good now. Something. But yeah, Donna's saying not her favorite genre as well when it comes to the opera. And so if we get deeper in, there's a ton of questions I want to ask you around it, but if we just do justice to the solfeggio sound, what the heck is that? It's when you're talking about a frequency, what would the difference be between? Now I'm coming to this pretty green, so forgive me.
Yeah, me too. I'm no expert, as I said in my face. I'm no expert. I'm still very much dipping my toe into the water of all of this. I mean, for me, the proof's in the pudding. I put the frequencies that were recommended to me, put it in music, and these people seem to have profound effects. But there's so much numerology and mathematics that go into all of this stuff. I try and stay away from that if I can. For me, it's like I just put it into music, and here are the effects. But I'll try and answer some questions if I can.
Yes, absolutely. So what is meant by solfeggio? What is that pointing towards? Do you
apparently, they're supposed to be ancient healing frequencies. They derive from Gregorian chants. I mean, the word ancient, even now, I don't even know what the word ancient means anymore. What is ancient? I mean, I think the timeline is so bloody skewed at the moment, so I don't even know what to call ancient. But apparently these frequencies derive from Gregorian chants. People that really know when they're, in meditation, they know the kind of frequencies that resonate with the cavity, and they know the kind of sounds that a bit like, Mongolian throat singing, where they use overtones and undertones. They use all sorts of frequencies, and they are able to create light with just the voice. And even, Tibetan singing bowls they don't use digital tuners when they're creating these bowls. They use just their intuitivity. And so they're not created using, a digital tuner or anything. So I think these ancient solfeggio frequencies come from the Gregorian chants, allegedly, but I do believe that has been bastardized now. I do believe there's an ancient or old solfeggio set of frequencies which the Gregorians knew, and the Mongolian throat singers or whatever, ancient knowledge, whatever ancient is. But now I think that those frequencies can be so profound in terms of healing and well-being that, of course, modern society have got hold of these Solfeggio frequencies and bastardized the hell out of them. So that's because Solfeggio frequencies, if you look onto the internet, they're all over the place. And you go on YouTube, there's these like 528 hertz is one you see everywhere. It's got millions or if not billions of views. And I'm very suspicious of that from the outset. But you'll never find 512 having millions of views, which I do believe is the actual frequency of the heart and actually can lead to well-being and health. One of the frequencies I use in my true Solfeggio albums. So there's this old set of Solfeggio healing frequencies that come from the Gregorian chants, people that knew. Interestingly, a lot of the instruments that are dug up on archaeological sites and seem to be tuned to 432 hertz as well, which is interesting. So there's this old knowledge that 432 hertz or something around there, because obviously years ago we didn't have digital tuners. They were tuning to their cavity, I believe. There's this old ancient Solfeggio scale, and there's this new Solfeggio set of frequencies that have, just become very, very popular. And when you start looking into who's behind and who's pushing these frequencies, you start seeing, discrepancies, and you start seeing, that's when all the shill calling comes out, right? And so I took these what I believe to be the original, based on Pythagorean tuning, centered on A432 hertz, whereas the modern Solfeggio tuning is based on numerology and derived using numbered and scattered across different keys. So I take the original versus the modern, and I take the original frequencies, embed them and infuse them into instrumental music, sit back and just watch for the results. And the results are in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you've seen some of those reviews and those testimonials of what happens when people actually immerse themselves in this music, because that's one of my bugbears, actually, that people don't listen to music anymore. They have it on in the background. They have it on while they're driving or while they're working. They don't actually take the time to listen to an unbastardized, uncompressed instrumental music with Solfeggio healing frequencies, put on some good quality earphones, sit back, turn the lights off, and immerse yourself in the music. People don't do that these days. They're too busy doing other things and just have it on in the background. They don't see it as this healing modality that could really help them if they just tune out and really focus and remove all of those distractions. So once you actually do that with the right frequency, uncompressed, with the right intent, which I believe my albums are, then you can start seeing how powerful music can really be.
That's beautiful. I love it. And then to take a step back on the subject, what's the difference between tone and notes and frequency?
They're all the same thing. I mean, a tone, well, the frequencies that I put into my Solfeggio, they're called sine wave frequencies, which is, there's no overtones, there's no undertones. It's just a pure frequency. So it's literally nothing else but that. It's 432 hertz and nothing else. But if you was to play 432 hertz on a piano, the middle A, then you'd have a bunch of overtones and a bunch of undertones, which make up the sound of the piano. That's what makes the sound of the piano. All these other frequencies. So what's the difference between a tone?
Oh, this is good for me. I'm really getting it now. So yeah, the difference between a frequency. So an A is a frequency, but when you play it on the piano, it's resonating throughout all of the strings.
But yeah, because you're getting the sound of the hammer hitting the string. You're getting the sound of the wood, where the tone resonates through the body of the piano. That also creates frequencies. It's just a bunch of frequencies that create the sound of the piano. So when you hit a 432 on a middle A, you're getting so many different frequencies that make up the sound of a piano. Same with a guitar. You hit the A on the guitar and it's tuned to 432. You're not getting 432. You're getting so many other different frequencies, hundreds of other frequencies that make up the sound of a guitar. But in my albums, I put pure, unbastardized sine wave. It's just a... Even me doing that with my voice, there's going to be overtones, and that won't be a pure sine wave, but I use a pure sine wave generator to create those pure sine waves and put them into the music. And then I create the piano soundscape and guitar soundscape and everything else, and the chords and the melody around those pure frequencies.
Oh, fascinating. And is it kind of like a drone, the way that you're using it, having a pure tone, like you say, sine wave, that would be constant in the background, and then you're playing with and around it?
Exactly. So,
Okay. I'm getting it.
So yeah, if the song's in 4/3/2 hertz, I'll have that all the way through for 7 minutes. And then my mission is to build a song around that. And there's many chords that in fact, pretty much every chord, if you're doing it right, you can build a real nice soundscape around that. But that pure sine wave frequency remains all the way through the song, but you don't even know it's there. By the time some drums coming or some strings or some harmonies or a guitar, you won't even know it's there, but it's there. But I make sure everybody knows it's there, because the intro of every song, it starts, and then the piano will come in that complements that, and then I might bring the music down to expose that frequency again, and then I'll bring up the music in the chorus, and then I'll back it down so you can hear the but it's there all the way through. But when, or of course, the instrumentation comes up, you barely even know it's there, but it's there throughout. In fact, it's not just one frequency. I'll use an octave above that and an octave below. So there's actually 3 of those frequencies coming through that track while you're listening to all the instrumentation. I think, I don't know, it seems to work.
How fun is that? I love it.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's like audio alchemy.
Exactly. Yeah, because now it sounds like in nature you're not going to find 432, because it's always going to be having overtones and undertones and different cavities that it's resonating off. Is that true?
Well, I mean, they say 4/3/2 hertz is, aligned with nature, because when you start looking at all of the frequencies that are involved above 4/3/2 and below, it starts to have a relationship. And I don't quite know how, but it starts to have a relationship with the golden ratio. And
right.
what's it called? The other word for the golden ratio? Someone will know in the chat.
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci, thank you.
Yeah,
there start to be a relationship with that, mathematically speaking and numerologically speaking. But that you can end up on an endless road when you start using numerology. Frequency means how many times per second does the sound wave cross the middle 0.8 hertz is 1000 vibrations per second. So 4/3/2 crosses the center line 4/3/2 a second. Yeah. But then when was the second even invented? I mean, the second is a relatively new thing in our timeline, isn't it? So, measuring things per second might not even be the way to go. I don't think they were measuring per second, anciently speaking. I think they were, like I say, tuning to what they felt, I think. And it just happens to be in our modern way of understanding things in hertz. I mean, even Hertz was like, the guy Hertz was only a few hundred years ago. So yeah, this idea of measuring frequencies per second is a relatively new thing. So I completely digressed there. Where was I going?
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna play off that just in terms of standard measures. So we have a second, right? Who decided what a second was?
Yeah,
but we got it, and then you get the hour and the 24. And I was recently very disillusioned, thinking that all measures were so standard. And I've got these little spoons for measuring small amounts of, potassium chloride or whatever, maybe supplement powder I want to use. And it turns out they are not standardized, because I started comparing one, a quarter teaspoon in this system is not a quarter teaspoon in that system. It's not they got the pinch and the tad and the dash and all this. And it's like, there's nothing standard.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, everything's been bastardized. It's like we're children trying to learn again. It's brilliant in a way, because I love learning all this stuff, but it's like, oh, you bastards, you did it to that as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, and you obviously sense the difference, right? Like I will just admit entirely that I don't know what I'm listening to. I obviously enjoy the music. That's clear, that it feels coherent to me. Your music allows me to focus, and that's different from other music that I find will, I'll like turn it off. I'll get frustrated. Okay. I need my whole brain get away. But I don't have to do that with yours, and apologies for making it the background, but
so many people find I've on that testimonials page on my website, people say I find it helps with my focus. It gives me clarity. Whether you're having it on in the background, whether you're having it on the car, you can have while you're having a meal. It's great music to have in the background. Why not have that music on in the background when it's made with the right frequencies, with the right intent? Why would you want to have some compressed 440 shit? Why would you want that? So yeah, absolutely. Try and use it while you're working in the background. But I'm just saying you could probably get more of a profound experience if you allow it in. If you really allow it in, remove all of those other distractions.
Exactly. Yeah. Then with the headset and your wave files, right? That would
Yeah.
be totally non-compressed rather than the YouTube I'm listening off of. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. YouTube is just screws everything up, and all of these streaming platforms, they're utterly ruining music. All of these streaming platforms.
Right. Right. Yeah. And maybe that's part of the reason that it becomes lackluster as well. So. Very good. And so you said that the 512 is more around the heart, and that's a common frequency that you're using?
It is, yeah. There's been a lot of people commenting on that particular track. On album 1, it's called Heart. On album 2, it's called Another Heart. And for some reason, I don't know whether it's the chord structure. I've tried to make the song sound very kind of lovey-dovey, kind of love chords. Just emotional chords. A bit like Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On." There's a reason why that song resonated, because it's the chord structure. It's just it has similar chords to that.
What are the love chords?
Well, what are the love chords? So C, G, A minor, G. So it's a na, na, na. I wish you could hear my piano here, but you can't. Na, na, na. So I've kind of go around the C, the G, the A minor to just give a little bit of because mostly there's a reason why why sad songs are in minor keys, and happier songs are in major keys.
Right.
And but that My Heart song, it kind of crosses between both. And I infused the 512 hertz in there, which comes from the keynote standard of 432 hertz. All the solfeggio healing frequencies. You have to have the keyboard or the piano. You have to have your root frequency in 432 hertz before any of those solfeggio magic frequencies appear. So, but that song it's been the most played on Spotify. It's been the most played on iTunes and Apple Music and on YouTube for some. And I've had people messaging me saying they just burst into tears. And I've had friends give birth to that song, and for some reason it resonates. I don't know. There's an emotional attachment to that song. Whether I think it's the frequency, it's supposed to be allegedly. I mean, if you believe in the chakra system, I mean, the jury's out on that one for me. But it's allegedly the frequency of the heart, and octaves above and octaves below. So you've got the 512 being the frequency of the heart, and the octave above being 1026, and the octave below being 256. What's interesting is you also find 256, 512, and 1026 in the computer world. You'll have a hard drive which is 512 gigabytes, or 1026 gigabytes, or 256. So there's a very interesting correlation there. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So I don't believe 528 is the frequency of the heart, or this DNA repairing thing. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I've experimented with 512, which according to Jamie Buturf is the frequency of the heart, and all of the frequencies that I use are supposed to align with the chakras. What you think about the chakra system, I don't know. I still don't know. Some people would dismiss it as new age woo woo. I'm still experimenting, and I have these frequencies, and this is supposed to be for that, that's supposed to be for that, but I just put them in there, and I just sort of mess around and find out, kind of thing.
Perfect. Exactly. That's how I've always done things. Just mess around. That's the child in me that doesn't mind just playing with things and experimenting. I love to invent wheels. So that's amazing. Discover something that's well discovered already.
I mean, what I'm doing is I don't know if anybody else has actually done what I'm not reinventing the wheel or anything, but I don't think anybody has infused. I mean, there's the healing frequency music out there, and it's all very monotonous, and it's unlistenable, really. It's kind of just drony, and it's just a synth that stays on one chord, doesn't go anywhere. But my music actually has an intro, a verse, has a bridge and a chorus, and there's melody to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think, and I don't think anybody's done that and actually infused these solfeggio healing frequencies into music. I think it's quite a unique album. I wish it had more exposure, because I've seen what it can do on a limited scale. But like you, I'm incredibly censored, so it's very frustrating, because I know I have this thing that could really change the musical landscape and bring well-being and health to a lot of people if they really give it a chance. But nobody knows about it yet, which is really frustrating.
Well, you're ahead of your time.
Maybe. Yeah, this is why my Flat Earth Man album doesn't sell, because I don't think people are quite ready for that kind of information just yet.
Right. And we will definitely get to that. Let me see. Someone had a great question. David is asking on the onset of AI music making right now. I'm glad he brought this up because I have my own feelings. Is this a reversal? Or are we just going down the rabbit hole of more dead swing music?
I hate it. I absolutely loathe it.
Yeah.
I mean, AI is a double-edged sword, isn't it? I mean, it's a hammer. A hammer can be used to hit someone. It can be used to build a house. I guess if you're using it for the right reasons, then AI, I've asked AI a few questions, particularly when it comes to 432 and Solfeggio, and I'm getting mixed results. It's kind of like, oh, you lying bastard. So there is that to it. But when it comes to AI music, it's awful. I mean, of course, it's in 440. And of course, it can spit out a song just like that. And it's utterly compressed. The vocals sound so soulless. The instrumental, it has an element of soul. And I think in 5 years' time, we'll be looking at a completely different landscape when it comes to AI music. I think it's going to actually kind of mimic soul. It might be actually a little bit more impressive, a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's making people lazy as well. Now everybody can be a musician, right? And I see people posting their AI songs going, this is a new song I just made. This is a new album I just made, wanting credit. And I'm like, you didn't make the song. You asked AI to make you a song about whatever thing you're interested in. You took those lyrics from ChatGPT, then put it into Suno and said, make me a song about this. And in 3 minutes, it spat out a song with a really catchy, and you've gone, this is my new song. Aren't I clever? I'm now a musician. It's like you have no idea what it's like to be a musician. You have no idea of the blood, sweat, and tears. Now everyone can just go, blah, 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 make me a song. And people are making albums in 5 minutes. It's disgusting, really. And it has no soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think the good thing that's going to come out of this, I think, is I think it's going to split people into two different directions. There's going to be a want and a need for AI music because of how convenient it is, because of how quickly you can make an album. So there'll probably be an AI chart, just for the people that want that shit. I don't. But there will also be, I think it's going to push old timers and purists like me down another road that really want the real music with anti-establishment kind of lyrics or with the right intent, with the right frequencies, real music. There's going to be a want, and I hope there's going to be a want and need for it over here somewhere. But it seems, of course, the masses, the asses, will follow this. Will love AI. They will lap it up. They will lap it up. They will love it. And they seem to be doing so. And I think it's absolutely ruining creativity. It's making people dumb as shit, and I think I think musicians are going to have to think a little differently if they want to get exposure. It's going to be very tough out there for musicians, but I hope people have the intelligence to actually see it for what it is and start appreciating real music, because that ain't real music at all. It's dreadful.
Yeah, it takes me about 20 seconds to turn that off. And I don't care who made it, even if somebody I like made it, and there is something of them that went into it. I shut down. And it's not even just the idea of it that I don't like. There's something, it's like, no, I don't want this in my system that I have to then detox something or other.
Yeah, it's dirty. It's dirty. I've always said like 440 hertz is like the fluoride of the music industry. And I hear that in AI music. I hear it's dirt. It's like there's not a pureness to it. I can't hear the guy singing it. Of course you can't, because it's digital. And it's just like there's a bunch of, I can hear, I've got really good ears. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
And I hear I feel dirty after I've listened to an AI song. I really do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And then the creative process is, that's on the chopping block, so big there. And I think that's completely by design, because we've been maybe taught that the creative process, the important part is, oh, I got a thing, I got a song, I got a book, I got a, end product. But the process itself, people don't necessarily know what it means to. This is a writer's metaphor, but it is across the board relevant, that to bleed on the page, to open your soul and allow the guts to pour, and to have it be terrible for a while, or even, stays terrible, or it's just your blood in your guts, and it's going to make you cry and feel everything. And this is what we don't necessarily sense in the end.
AI could never replicate that. Never. It will never have that kind of soul where you're bleeding. There's a reason, like there's something terrible that's happened or something magnificent that happened, and you feel the need to put it into a poem and then you sculpt the musical landscape around that with your intent, with your emotion, and every bend of the guitar is your pain. AI can't do that.
No, exactly. And the victory on the other side, when you have that breakthrough and you're willing to go through the pain of creating, then that makes for a happy life. There's, to me, no greater happiness than when I am clear enough to allow things to be created through me. And that makes it a life worth living. I always feel like, yep, I could die now and with no regret, feel like I lived a good life for that. So let's go there. And thank you, Elisa. I appreciate that. And David does have a last question. We'll read what this is. So that's my last question. Don't want to drag AI into this, but we'll send you an email in the future. Oh, okay. I thought you had another point there. And this is fun. Reminds me of water cooling electric machines made the song. And I have a habit of, say there's annoying sound in an environment. That could be a lawnmower or a boat motor or some, lights. I had lights that were making frequencies some years. Luckily, that's gone now.
LEDs by any chance?
What's that?
Were they LEDs by any chance?
It's probably the case. Yeah, probably. Exactly. LEDs, I know, are pretty evil.
Yeah.
And so my defense mechanism for that has always been to sing along, right? So I will listen for the tone in the annoying sound, see if I could find one. They're usually like lack coherence, but you can almost always find one at least. And then I will make that my drone and sing around it. And that takes something that's like miserable and awful into some, again, the happier moments of my life.
You're canceling out the frequency, aren't you? You're canceling out. You're matching that frequency wave, and you're canceling it out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to sing over or drown it out. I'm going with it, and that cancels it.
Well, if you're matching the frequency exactly, I mean, if you're taking, obviously with any sound, there's the overtones and the undertones. But if you take the predominant sound and you match it with your voice or whatever instrument, if you match the main frequency, I guess there would be a conflict there, and you would cancel it out, I think.
Yeah, because I'm more apt to sing harmony, like sing around it, a little bit on it, under it.
I've done that. I've listened to trucks on the street, and I end up harmonizing with a truck.
Yeah, exactly. That's my most favorite game ever. And when I'm under stress, if I'm being, say, corralled in an airport and it's abuse at that level, I will start singing.
Okay.
I'll sing to survive it. Yeah.
Humming as well. There's a lot to humming apparently, and if you're in an airport, which are the worst places in the world, which is one of the reasons I hate traveling, because they're terrible places. Yeah, humming could be a very good healing modality, I think, in an airport for sure.
Exactly. My latest favorite game with humming is I got a vibration plate. And it's for exercise, but it turns out that if you tone on there, then it moves the sound around in your body, moves the vibration around in your body to different places, which I was like, wow, amazing. Wow. And if you hum, because I'm trying to spend a lot of time with my tongue on the roof of my mouth, training my tongue to do that, if you've heard of that at all.
Yeah.
Sleep better and all kinds of things. And so if you hum, I'm tending to make a cavity in my mouth anyway, even though my lips are closed. But if you close that gap, then again, another level of something interesting is going on with the humming. So yeah, I'm playing with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mongolian throat singing that does that. They will not only hum, but they will create these overtones and undertones that can create light. It's like a so there's your main, but there's so much going on. Then if you get that right and you do that, for hours or whatever in the right space, then profound things can happen, I think.
Exactly. Were you ever into mantra in any way, or is that just not?
No,
No.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I
Yeah.
wish. I really wish. I want to get into more of that, but I've tried meditating and mantra. I've tried all of that, but my mind's just too busy to
So here's
be. Go ahead.
just my real quick thing is that I don't practice mantra anymore. It dumbs you down. It numbs you out. It actually dulls your senses. That's how I got sick with the stage 4 lymphoma, was doing all this mantra, all this meditation.
Wow.
Now I would rather focus rather than check out or bliss out or feel so happy, or, I actually want to zero in, focus, not numb out.
Right. Okay. Well, then maybe I should see that as a good thing. The fact that I can't numb out. I've tried because I've always, I've always had trouble with sleeping and that and relaxing because I'm always on the go in my brain. I'm always creating. I've always got a project. I'm always doing something. Find it very difficult to relax and zone out. But maybe I shouldn't feel so guilty about that.
Yeah, exactly. There is a downside to that. People are
Okay.
just using it to check out. I had a roommate die of cancer that way, and her cult just said, "Oh, go chant more." So she chanted more, and she
Wow.
was gone. Yeah, I can't say that killed her, but it didn't help, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So there's a dark side to chanting as well. Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. That's why you can get so much corruption in those communities. That I was just
Mm.
looking at a documentary yesterday. Some guy was actually pretending to be a guru, so he just happened to look like an Indian. And so he played the part, and he made himself into a guru, and he had the following. And where was I going to go with that? I can't remember offhand. But shoot, I missed the point. It was so funny that everybody wanted to go for it, and they're like, "You are so special, and I feel amazing around you." And I actually
But
had
then basically everyone drunk the Kool-Aid.
everyone drank the Kool-Aid, and I also drank the Kool-Aid in India. I had a guru, so this was a point of interest too, that you put that word in your.
Yeah, if I had my time again, I wouldn't use that, but carry on. Go on.
Okay. Well, what was behind it for you that,
Because I was doing conspiracy. I was listening to a marketing guy at the time, and he said, if you're going to do something, present yourself as an expert in the field if you want to get a following. And I was doing conspiracy music, and I thought, well, if people are looking for conspiracy music, then they're going to type into Google conspiracy music. So what can I be? Conspiracy music guy, conspiracy. And I remember him saying, present yourself as an expert. And remember, guru really means guide or teacher or something like that. And I thought, well, I'm putting information in there that's guiding and teaching. So just as an online handle, some people are online are called like, the tech guru. If there's a guy online who does nothing but Apple stuff, and he's a tech guru. He calls himself tech guru. Or there's a guy called something Jedi. They don't really see themselves as a Jedi or a guru or a Sith or whatever, or a warrior or whatever. They're just online handles at the end of the day. So it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. I wish I'd have said, I don't know, just called myself Alex Michael or something. Oh, guru, you think you're a guru? No, it's just a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that was the thinking around it. So yeah, I'm not trying to start a cult or anything, or trying to get people to drink the Kool-Aid or anything. I think I think you judge them by their fruits, I think. And I think my fruits have been okay. I've made mistakes, don't get me wrong, but I'm still learning, and I'm trying to do the right thing musically. I feel like I've got a purpose now, now that I know some stuff. Why not put it into music, which is my way of communicating, rather than writing another tepid love song. I think the world has got too many of those as it is. So I'm doing something very unique and different, and it's the worst business decision I've ever made. But I get so much joy from doing it and seeing the response.
I would never criticize you. Also, comedy is such a big part of your, what you're delivering too. So that's a perfect fit, if you ask me. The gurus, there's no end to the amount of material you can make fun of in that world, right? It's literally endless, and that's.
Well, you can get away with a lot more if it's a joke, right?
Right.
It's more tongue in cheek. It's perceived as comedy or satire, or whatever. And the good thing about infusing comedy with truth is, even if people don't believe or resonate with what I'm saying, the visuals and how animated I am in the videos, particularly with the Flat Earth Man character that I did 7 years ago now, something like that, and maybe more actually. 8 years ago. That becomes a lot more shareable when you can make someone laugh. They want it. They want to, even if they don't get the subject really. It's just me really making fun of NASA and all the absolute, and showing green screen and harness fails and all that sort of stuff, and me just pointing at it and going, that's suspicious, don't you think? And and just being really animated and dancing around, and that it's a funny video at that point, and it becomes way more shareable. People would rather share a 5-minute funny music video than listen to 2 hours of Eric Dubé droning on about proof after proof after proof after proof. That's for a certain type of audience. But I want to get, I want to recruit the new people into this information and go, hey, look at this shower of crap that NASA are putting out. Look at this. Surely you should be questioning this. And I'm just doing that in a musical, comedic way. I want to do more comedy for sure, because that really resonates with a lot of people, and it makes this darker world a little bit more fun, I think, if you're doing it with a skip in your step and a nudge and a wink, and I think it's definitely more fun to make, that's for sure.
Indeed. It's more courageous because a lot of people get stuck in the anger side of the truth movement, so-called. And if you go up a few steps, you raise the frequency, which I'm actually not a fan of. I'm an ascension myth buster, in case you hadn't seen that. But it brings you into a place of much greater courage, and through that also much greater connection. You let your guard down when you have a laugh. There's something like you just become authentically yourself for a second, or however long that takes place. So yeah, I got addicted. Someone suggested a show. I don't watch shows, but they suggested it. It's in my house of free will, so I always try to, out of respect, look at what they want me to see. So I got addicted to this show called The Good Place, and
I've been watching that.
Okay, yeah, there's certain good elements, and then it just gets a laugh out of me.
Yeah.
And there's there is something to be said for this, like, life worth living, right? That
Yeah, we don't have much choice, do we? I mean, you could handle it in a bunch of different ways, and I've handled it in a bunch of different ways musically. When I was angry with COVID, I was shouting into a microphone, and I produced a rock album. And that was essential for my therapy, I think. Like I said before, yeah. I don't need a therapist. I need a microphone. I think that was essential. I mean, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be pissed off with the world. But I definitely see what you're saying about, just dealing with it with the humor of it, because we are living in a clown world. Nothing makes sense. It's almost, if you can detach yourself from, from the red and the blue and the left and the right, and just see it from one big stage, and if you can zoom out enough to see that and start having fun with it, which I think I'm at that stage now, just have fun with it. Stop getting angry. You can't change it. Just have fun with it. Try and, enlighten other people and get people on board. But I think having fun is absolutely essential. So yeah, I totally see what you said.
That's great. I love how when you start talking about fun, it gets really serious. Not with you, but I just noticed that in general as soon as you want to do that. You used the word purpose earlier, and that's the music to my ears. That's my whole subject, and it's what my near-death experience taught me, that we're not here in a random way. And you did the quiz on my website, the King Hero quiz, and got the Nurturer. So it's all a measure. All of the archetypes are not a measure as if like high or low amount of purpose, but the blueprint of the purpose that might be more predominant. And I think you and I both maybe expected, this is so fun when it's not what I expect, maybe more of the rebel was going to come forward, because there's an obvious persona there in your music, like you said, with the rock album, and just like doing your anger therapy, which I love. And then, but it came up the Nurturer.
Yeah.
Whose purpose really is service, to give back. The Nurturer is far enough along the hero's journey that they have enough of their own problems solved, and they have something to give back.
100%. That was a surprise to me as well. Like I said before we came on, that was an interesting little quiz. Like, one of the questions was something like, do you want to give something to humanity? Do you want to help the world? And it's like, yeah, I do. And you held up a mirror to me. It's like, yeah, I am that guy. I'm that guy I'm not doing this for the money. Definitely not. But I'm doing this because I think I have something to say. I think I can help people. I think I can, give people happier lives, healthier lives. Because I know that as long as I've been on this journey, I feel totally blessed to be on this journey. I'm a lot healthier and happier for having been on it. Yeah, there's some darkness there. I've done my dark night of the soul, and you have to do the shadow work and understand that, this place isn't quite what we were told, and where we live is not quite. Pretty much everything you have to you let go of every single ology, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But I'm a happier person for having done that, and now I can see. I mean, I still got a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong. I've got a shitload to learn, but at least now I feel I'm in a position to help or inform or educate in some kind of way. I've had many messages from mothers, even like, your music helps me to educate my children on the deceptions of NASA, or your song Big Pharma really helps my mother see, that these jibby jabs weren't probably the best medical intervention in the world. And various different messages that I get from people, saying that I've helped them in some way. Maybe it's just a lyric, maybe it's the entire song, maybe it's just a chorus, maybe it's the theme, whatever. But when you start putting that music out there and you start realizing you are actually helping people, you're like, damn, how can I stop doing this? I now have a purpose. Maybe that's what I was put here to do. I'm not going to write another love song. I'm not going to do that anymore. If I'm to write a song, there has to be something in there, at least a lyric that can move someone and go, why did he put that? What's he talking about? Maybe I should do my research on that. And many people do. And they come to the same conclusions of, step by step, drop by drop. You're going, oh, holy crap. It's a different world we're living in. And maybe, maybe that's what I was put here to do, just to, to help people see the way I see. And I think there's so much more. I was very arrogant when I got to the cosmology thing and the flat earth. I thought there's no bigger truth than that. There's no bigger truth. There's no, but there's so much more out there. There's so much more. The more I zoom out, the more I step back. It's like, wow. And thank God I am stepping back and zooming out, really, because I can now see it from a different perspective than most. And I just take that perspective, put it into music. And a lot of times I have fun with it. I do comedic stuff. I do, I did my angry session. And now more of the healing stuff. So it's like an evolution of me as a person. Every album is what I'm going through. Every album is, my exposure to a certain subject. And the Solfeggio is just my exposure to, the healing frequency world, which I thought was new age woo-woo at the start, but I have a very different opinion of it now. So, very therapeutic. It is my purpose. I don't think I can ever do anything else. And again, the worst business decision I ever made.
There you go. So fun. Yeah. I often think, boy, I could do easier things for money.
It's so good. I could make songs about space and the galaxy, right? Yeah, I could do all of that. But no, my soul won't allow me to do it.
Yeah, good for you. That's amazing. Dawn wants me to ask you about the books you created from your lyrics.
Oh, thanks, Dawn. Yeah. That was Dave Weiss's idea, actually. I was on a podcast with him, and he was saying, "Hey, Alex, why don't you turn your songs into children's books?" I'm like, "Oh God, I don't even know how to do that. How do you publish a book?" And but he ignited the spark, and I was like, "Actually, that's a really good idea." Because as I said before, like mothers were contacting me saying, "I know my kids love your music because I'm so animated in these music videos." And kids love it, and it's a really good teaching tool. So why not make a series of children's books out of those videos? So that was about a 6-month process. Once David had put that idea in my head, I had to run with it. It's like, and I'm quite obsessive. Once someone puts the idea, and I think it's a good idea. Once someone puts the idea into my head, I'm like, yeah, that's it. So then I had to learn all about publishing and how to PDFs and Kindle publishing and all that sort of stuff, and then get screenshots of my videos and blah blah, and do all of that. So it took me about 6 months, but yeah, now I've got a range of 7 children's books that touch on every subject of. There's one about the moon landing. There's one about photographs of Earth. There's one about the ISS. There's one about satellites. It's there to get the cogs turning and to inspire a little bit of critical thought in youngsters. I mean, NASA are continually targeting our children, aren't they? So why can't we do the polar opposite that and do the same and say, hey, by the way, why don't you think about what you're being told here when it comes to, outer space travel and globes and galaxies and ISS and moon landings and all this helio sorcery.
That's a good word. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. It's funny. I didn't come across your children's books yet, but I have a young person in my life I'm going to get those for.
They make a great Christmas present.
Yes.
Well, next year, because you won't get them into. Well, actually, if you go onto my website and you go on the merch section and you go to kids ebooks, you can download all the ebooks for free. So they're available digitally for free. If you want the hard copy, you have to go to Amazon and get them there.
Right. And it's no little thing to publish. So congratulations on that. I know it's almost easy to write the book, and that's not easy, but compared to the publishing, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's amazing to put that out and leave the legacy for the generation to come.
Yeah, I hope those books end up on in a dentist waiting room or something, a doctor's waiting room or something. I don't know, or somewhere that. The good thing about physical books is they will just be there. They will be in a loft somewhere, or they'll be in a cupboard, and someone will open the cupboard and it'll be there. It's not like, the digital book burning that we could be subjected to. All that stuff could disappear overnight. And you got a physical copy. It's just, I like the idea of people just picking up their book and finding it, somewhere. It could be a book in, I don't know, on a waiting room in a dentist's office in Arkansas or something. You just just the idea of that someone going, what's this? Then you move a mind.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah, no, it's amazing that we take care of our next generations coming up. We know that's probably going to be a big divide. I can see the, my son, I don't know how he did it, but he woke himself up. It was actually gun laws in Canada that he finally just went like, are you kidding me? He's like, this is bullshit. And got a thing.
Right.
And then everything followed after that, like a house of cards, like, oh, well, this and that. And I think he never did. He only once made fun of me that I'm probably a flat earther. So we didn't go down that road again. I just don't go on that hill very much to die on.
He's primed and ready for it, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, he's very discriminating. And he'll do it on his own. He doesn't want to be influenced. When it came to the jabs and the boogeyman virus and everything, one day as an 11-year-old or so, he proclaims to me, I don't believe anything my dad says, and I don't believe anything you say. And I said,
that's a good start.
Yes. I'm like, perfect. That means you're actually thinking for yourself. Go team. So yeah, no, that it's worked out amazingly. So
yeah, he's gonna be a great young man. You only have one son, or
yeah,
he's gonna be great. He's already showing signs of greatness.
Thank you. Yeah, it makes me hopeful. I'm actually going to be interviewing him today for the second time in the House of Free Will. So people are getting to hear from him. He swears a lot. I can't really bring him into public yet, but we'll see.
I'm really holding back, by the way, during this conversation. I swear an awful lot, but I'm trying to hold back. But
I don't mind one bit, but I think the algorithms do tune in with the swearing, so it's entirely up to you. I do not mind. I'm not a Well,
maybe privately, but I'm trying to hold back. I mean, I am working class, a drinker and a smoker, and I'm working class, and I don't think that there are such thing as swear words. That's a whole nother conversation. I think there's words and there's intent. We can use a swear word, a curse word, and put good intent behind it, and it automatically changes the intent of that word. But that's another conversation. But I'm actually a fan of swearing.
Oh yes, indeed. Like my son and I, that's really, we have so much fun talking to each other. Now it's interesting when you talk about intent and then sound. So you've got the same word that has, how you deliver it matters, but the intent is even deeper than that, right? Because and my son has called me out that as a child, when I would try to put the right voice on and I would be really kind and sweet and trying to force him to do what I want him to do,
Right.
And he's like, I see right through you, Mom. This is bullshit. And then I'm like, so I can't just put on the right tone. And I actually have to come up with the love. I have to be loving.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, your child's not a dog. You can't go, "Hey, you little prick!" You can't. You can't put with dogs can be fooled by that. I don't. I think your son's smarter than that. Hey, how are you? Would you mind clearing your room? No, I think sound waves. I think sound waves are carriers of consciousness. I believe if you put your intent into a sound wave, it can be delivered in the way you intend it, like Emoto's experiments, for instance, with the water, right? If you take a jar of water and you swear it and you say, "Oh, I hate you, I want to kill you," and you put it under a certain freezing certain temperature, and then it will show all sorts of incoherent muddiness, blah blah blah. But if you talk nicely to a jar of water, same with the rice experiment as well, and same with plants as well. If you put the right intent, and you could make a plant thrive with just your voice. You can also make a plant wither and die with just your voice. It's the intent behind it. If you tell a plant, "I hate you, you're disgusting, you disgust me, I want to kill you, I hope you die," you do that to a plant for a month or so, and you watch it literally wither and die. You do the complete opposite to another plant and say, "Yeah, I love you, you're the most beautiful thing, you are a gorgeous plant, welcome to the world, I hope you find this most beautiful." That plant is going to thrive, but you have to do it with the right intent. If you was like looking at that plant, actually hating it, but saying the right words, I don't think that's going to have the same effect. I do believe that sound waves are carriers of your intent. You put your intent into a sound wave. That's how you deliver, real change. I think it's wizardry, really. It's audio alchemy. I think it has to come from the intent. It has to come from the heart, which my music does.
That's beautiful. I love that. Let's see. Steve likes swearing. The highest.
I love you,
intelligence. Steve. Yeah. And then he says, "I just answered your question earlier about the difference between tone, notes, and frequency. It's not what you say or do. It's the tone you use when you say it and the intention of the tone. Because people can fake tones. They can make tones. They can mimic tones, and that's what you notice with like more, say, people who are void of souls mimic very well. And this is what our AI is doing. It's mimicking our emotions. It's busy studying our emotions. I know for a fact.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
It's mimicking all of the soul music. In fact, there's a lot of lawsuits out there at the moment that are suing Suno because it's basically plagiarizing all of the music that's out there. It's learning from all of the music out there, and it's currently learning how to be a soulful singer. And I can pick it out like that. It's just but it's getting better. It's going to mimic soul, whereas some people hear the recording and they go, "Oh, that's so soulful," but with no intent behind it, without the singer's pain, without that core intent behind it, it's just a big bunch of nothing noise to me, So
yeah.
So it's going to get very good at mimicking soul AI. I dread to think what's around the corner, but it can never compare to real intent going into sound waves and affecting people on a profound level, because it's coming from your heart, as Emoto has shown, as the rice experiment has shown. Talking well to plants and giving plants the right music and watching them thrive with the right intent. It will never compare to that. It can't.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. John was pointing out the secret book of plants, and to me the unreplicatable element is life, right? That this you can't do. Sure, maybe you can mimic soul because soul has certain qualities about it. Life does not have qualities. Something is either alive or it has the absence of life. And to me, that's the insult of the AI music. Now, I'm not totally against AI. It has actually transformed my life. There's a bunch of stuff that I do in my work that eats gobs of time, and I don't like it. I do it as a matter of diligence so that I can do everything that is purposeful for me. And I've got it doing it. And it's like, wow, this is amazing. I know they're going to addict me to it. And I'm going to be very sad when I need drop of blood to get on, or whatever the price of admission is going to be. I know that this is some kind of weird in-between place where they let us play with the toys.
I think they're priming us for this, aren't they? They're priming us for a digital world, aren't they? They're testing the waters with the digital currency, and maybe that will become mandatory. Maybe your music will be AI, and it's all, when it gets to that point of you've got to sign in with your with your iris scan or your foot or your fingerprint, then that's the time to walk away. But yeah, AI is a double-edged sword. It can be used for good. It can be. I don't suppose I have a real problem with someone making an AI song talking about all the deception of the world, so therefore the end user can then listen to it and be enlightened and then start on their own journey of truth. I don't really have a problem with that. I think that, I think the foundations are quite shaky at that point, but because the music is not great. But if you're putting, the real intent and good information in an AI song, then, then I might just let it pass. But, in terms of, having real profound effects with music, but if it gets someone on their journey and gets someone questioning, then maybe it can be used for that, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not replacing your creative process. That is the blueprint that you pay forward with, right? Every time you create, then you're actually inspiring the next person to say like, hey, because I met a songwriter in India. He'd written more than 2,000 songs. And I thought, well, you wrote 2,000. I bet I can write one or two. And I started on my path at that point, right? So that's how creativity becomes something that's like infectious in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, people think that writing a song is something that only a genius could do. Like people put Bob Dylan on a pedestal, like, because he was such a great lyricist. I don't believe that at all. I mean, God, don't even get me started on Bob Dylan. But
his deal with the devil aside,
there's all of that, of course. Whether he even wrote his songs is another question as well. We know the Beatles didn't write any of theirs, but right. So there's that huge question mark above all of that. But writing a song is not difficult. I mean, any child can write a poem. Any child can write a poem. If you can just just speak from the heart and make something rhyme, I guarantee you I could turn that into a really nice song if it's from the heart. It doesn't even have to rhyme. It's just writing something down. It doesn't have to rhyme. It's just why pretend that someone that can write a song is, oh my God, he wrote that all by himself. Well, okay, so he can write and he can write. It's not something that only geniuses can do. You can just sit down and put your thoughts onto a bit of paper. It doesn't have to rhyme. Just pour your heart out. There's a song right there. You're now a songwriter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And yet it's highly nuanced. And there's, I'm a music snob. I don't bother to listen to anything if I don't like it. Like I just don't want to. I don't want to have it in the background. I don't want those worms in my head. If I'm going to get worms in my head, I want them to be good worms. Yeah. So there's even a risk when I'll listen to people's music in a strange way, which might sound weird. But
it should come from you. It should be. I don't listen to any music anymore. I try to avoid it. Of course, when you go to the supermarket or whatever, and there's something playing, you can't avoid it. But or you're in a taxi or whatever. But if it's on in the car, I turn it off. I try not to be influenced in any way, shape, or form. I want it to all come from me. Obviously, I have my, my guitar bends and my guitar solos are maybe slightly Clapton-esque, because I do love Clapton, and obviously there's going to be an influence there. I don't think we can escape any kind of influence, but I try to make it all mine if I can. I want it to come from me and me only. Can't really escape those influences that I heard from Pink Floyd or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Hendrix or whatever. You can't really go, oh, that's a nice bend. But again, if you're doing it with the right intent and the right frequency, you can have more of a profound effect. But yeah, I try and avoid influence if I can these days.
Right. I get you. Yeah. And then there's nothing new under the sun, right? So we inevitably borrow. There's songs I thought were so original, and like where people were like, where did that come from? And then I'd go back and listen to something and go like, oh my goodness, that's where that got in my brain. And I didn't know it wasn't a copy, but I could see clearly there was
so much stuff is stolen from classical music as well. Rachmaninoff as well. There's certain sections of a Rachmaninoff song, the Piano Concerto No. 2, Rachmaninoff. The sections of that were stolen to make All By Myself by Nilsson and made famous by Celine Dion. There's a lovely little bridge in there that's just na 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 na. Beautiful bit, but. So when you hear it and you go, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, how did Nilsson come up with that? No, he stole it from Rachmaninoff. The reason they're able to steal it is because it's over 100 years old and it's copyright free at that point. So much is taken from those great composers and brought into the real world. And you think, oh, that's amazing. No, you stole that.
Exactly. Yeah. The good artists borrow and great artists steal. Steve is saying AI will never have what we call X factor. Even when it learns to try and be less perfect to mimic us, it still won't ever have that thing that resonates with us and moves.
100%. It will never have that. It can't have that. It's utterly soulless.
Yeah, yeah. What did my son's dad is a music producer as well, and he would call it the intangible, the thing that couldn't be named or you can't put your finger on it, but it's there and everybody knows it.
There you
How's
go.
that? Okay,
That's better. Yeah, I can sleep at night now.
excellent. You wouldn't want to add to the insomnia. I got some ideas to share with you, but I'll share offline
Okay,
if
great.
you're interested. Yeah, because I've completely transformed my sleep. I sleep through the entire night now. It's like, wow, I never.
I'm getting there. I was borderline insomniac for many, many years. I've done a lot of work mentally, just doing some relaxation sort of exercises and
Nice.
relaxing my body. What I've done is I kind of pay attention to my body, and I realized the stress that's in my neck, and I go, hold on, your neck's really stressed. It's really you don't realize it until you actually focus on relaxing your neck, and you start, okay, focus on the neck, relax, and then all of a sudden the neck, I'm doing it now my shoulders are dropping. It's only when you really focus on that, and I've been doing that in bed, and like, okay, relax your shins, relax your toes, relax your face. Like the amount of tension you carry in your face is incredible, in your eyebrows, and it's like you go to bed like this coiled mess, and you don't realize it, and you try and sleep, you're like, why I can't sleep. But then you start to sort of I've started to have a little word with myself and go like, hey, dude, stop it. And I'm way better now. I'm way better now.
That's good. Oh, good for you. That's amazing. Yeah, that can go a long way. And I won't go off on too much of a tangent, but you can keep in mind that copper is poison, and that's something that causes a lot of insomnia, a lot of jaw, and this.
Hold on, you're just shattering. I'm drinking out of copper cups.
Stop it.
Really?
Stop it.
Wow.
Immediately. Yep. That is the biggest psyop ever.
Wow.
Yep. And I got tons of receipts and medical literature if you need that. So, which you should need that.
Right. Okay. My wife needs to hear this. She's big on the copper. Okay.
It's a stimulant. Most every poison is stimulating. So we get high from it. That's why people think that when they eat organs, they're getting high. They are, because they're being poisoned. And so it has this, I used to guzzle green juices loaded in copper, and I would go, oh, I'm so healing over here. It's like, no, I'm high. I'm high. And go up, you go down. Yeah.
Okay, noted. Thanks for that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. No, I love the alternative to the alternative.
Yeah. Now I consider
it's like another ivermectin, isn't it?
What's that?
It's like another ivermectin, right?
Yeah. Bingo. Yep, exactly. No, I consider myself an outlier among outliers now, that a whole bunch of the truth of the world, they don't like me anymore because I didn't just stop looking for the truth. Kept
no, good for you. And I would same with colloidal silver, right? Would you say that?
Silver, some people are slamming it. I don't want to take it in, and I don't hear bad things about it. So, I mean, I do hear the bad things, but yeah, so my jury's still a little bit out. I don't want it in my body for some reason, though. So there's that. And I know it's been slammed. I know it turns people blue. There's different applications with...
it literally does, yeah.
Right, yeah. I just don't want it. I think I had a lot of it. I'm done with it. I have used it topically when I had a very bad cut. I was used to protect. So... Yeah. This is a very, very big subject. How's your time, by the way? I'd never asked you.
I'm good. I'm great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Because I have a bunch more questions.
Great.
And so when was that turning point when your music and conspiracy collided? Was there a moment where you weren't doing that to when you decided you were?
Yeah, I think there was definitely a turning point in 2012, because I'd been doing music. Like, I was introduced to a piano when I was 4 years old. I come from a musical family. My dad was an organist. My uncle was a guitarist. My other uncle was a bassist. My other uncle was a drummer. They was all in a band together. So I was surrounded by music from a very early age. Started learning the piano when I was 4, and I did my first gig when I was 8, playing in an old people's home, playing Christmas music. And then I did some gigs when I was 12 and 13, playing keyboard in a little club and so. And then was a DJ and I was a karaoke compere, an acoustic guitarist and a singer. And I was just always doing cover songs and maybe a few of my own, which were those tepid love songs. And it was just music. And I was making a living out of making music, which is what I always wanted. Never really wanted to work a day in my life. I wanted to I never really wanted to clock in and clock out, although I did plenty of that. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to make a living from making music. And I achieved that to a certain extent. It's only in 2012 when, an alternative narrative hit me. 9/11 was the catalyst that got me into truth.
Sure.
And like a lot of people,
yeah.
that's that similar story. And when that hit me, it was like, how can I make another love song? This is so profound. I don't know what to do with this information. I can't, the only thing I could do is to put it into music. And in 2012, I wasn't really a competent music producer. I was just doing, gigs in pubs, and I didn't really know how to record my stuff onto a computer. It got to about 2014, 15, where I was messing around with music production. I had a ringtone company, still have actually, and I was making ringtones and selling them on iTunes, and that was a good revenue for a while. And then then all of that just became like, oh God, it's so benign and so just, I don't know, just wasn't really changing the world. Really, I had this profound knowledge that the whole world doesn't work the way I thought it was. There's these huge lies that are so far out of most people's perception but I got it. It's like, oh, now the world makes sense. Like that line in The Matrix where Morpheus says to Neo, "There's something wrong in the world, you know it, but you just can't put your finger on it. You feel it when you go to work. You feel it when you go to church, when you pay your taxes." And I felt that, and I was like, oh, now I get it. It's like, so when you're hit with that profound truth, like the world doesn't work the way you thought, it's like, oh my God, everything changed for me musically. So when I finally had the confidence to actually produce my own song, when I was familiar with the software, I made my very first conspiracy song in 2017, and that was about flat Earth. And
what was that one?
It was called Flat Earth Man.
That's it. Yeah.
And it was a story about me meeting there's a long story behind that. Mike Wilkerson was involved in that actually, because I remember talking to him about flat Earth, and he was like, "No way, bro. There's photographs and everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you can imagine that conversation." And that inspired me to write a song. I met a man the other day, and this is written from his perspective. Like he's meeting this guy who thinks the Earth is flat. So and I just remember writing this poem into my phone saying, "I met a man the other day who thought the Earth was flat. I said, 'Man, you must be crazy. Where the hell's your tinfoil hat?'" But he spoke with such conviction, and he believed the words he spoke. And something deep inside me knew this couldn't be a joke. But why would he believe this? Why believe such things? Because everybody knows the Earth's a ball and that it spins. And well, you must be pretty crazy if you think the Earth is flat. And I can't remember the exact lyrics, but it was inspired by that conversation. And I wrote that poem into my phone, and I thought, well, I might as well make this into a song now. But I wasn't comfortable delivering it as Alex Michael and just like singing a serious song. Like I thought, well, let's put a hat on and some shades and kind of do a country voice. And well, I met a man the other day who thought the Earth was flat, and I delivered it that way, and hiding behind the character, if you like, because I thought if my family's going to see this, then they can just dismiss it. Oh, he's just putting on a funny voice. He doesn't believe that stuff. He's just, it's just a song. But of course, it was my telling of my profound truth, my profound understanding that, holy crap, we've been lied to about where we live, and I'm putting it into music, but I'm not comfortable delivering it as, Alex Michael. So I put on this character, and it actually worked, because I put that song out there, and I kind of got an internet hug and a pat on the back, and people were going, more, encore. And I ended up doing another one. Right, okay, let's do the moon landing. Let's do the photographs of Earth. Let's do the ISS. And before I knew it, I made a whole album about that, about NASA and cosmology and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was only really 2016 that I got the confidence, and I had enough bullet points to be able to go, right, I have something to say now, and I can put it into a song, and I can play a bit of guitar, I can sing a little bit, and I reckon I could make a song, and I could like tell people about this stuff I know, but hide behind this character. And I did that, and people was like, so many people thought I was this southerner from Texas or something.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
was weird. And it was a real compliment because people were going, holy shit, you're English. Yeah. We thought you was American. Well, thanks very much as a compliment. But I did this stereotypical kind of voice that was loud, bad, and it's really animated and really, it's like way over the top. You know, must have watched too much television as a child. But that's how I hid behind, you know, that subject, and that's how I chose to deliver it. It was like this transition between 2012 and 2016 of learning this stuff, and then at a point of being able to put it into music, you know, in terms of the software and ability and that. And I was like, right now, I can't do any other music now. It's gonna have to be this. Now I could, you know, just, you know, get it off my chest. And so yeah, it was 2012, the Catalyst 911 that got me into it, and then I eventually got confident enough on the software that I was able to start making my first song and video. Which the first video wasn't any green screen; it was just me just jumping around in the studio. And then I found the wonders of green screen. It's like, holy crap! You're telling me all I need is a green bit of cloth, and I can put any image I like behind me. Right, that just exploded my creativity. And then I'm at a point where I'm floating on the ISS in some of the videos, and it really, you know, gave me this creative burst to just to get everything off my chest, and comedically, and having a lot of fun with it as well. So it's been a huge journey, and then there's all sorts of other topics that I've addressed in other videos and that, and I will continue to do it, I think, because once you know this stuff, I don't think you can stay silent. I think it's your duty to put it out there, you know, because I don't want to be on my deathbed going, I want to leave behind a little bit of a legacy, and try and say that at least I tried to leave this apartment in a better condition than when I found it. You know, at least I can, you know, go to my deathbed going, yeah, remember them songs I made, you know, and millions of people saw them. And that's, you know, that will, I think that'll give me some peace in my final days, I think.
Amen. And that's spoken like a true king hero, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the duty, the legacy, they'll leave it better than you found it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's genuinely how I feel.
Yeah, that's amazing. And your buddy Mike, our buddy Mike is in the chat here.
There he is.
Hello,
Earthman himself.
Yeah, exactly. His ears were burning, John. And hello, Quietly Content Bear. Thank you for being here, and thanks for the truth bombs, Miss Eliza. Sorry if I'm saying. I met several Elizas at the same time. I'm really confused now, I have to say. It's just how that went. And yeah, I love that. The accent, of course. I just have to say how surprising it was to. Now, are you from Sussex? Is that? I think I've heard you say you have a Sussex kind of accent. Essex is different.
Essex, yeah. Essex is about 20 miles northeast of London, so it's like a London overspill. So I have a London accent, and I drop my T's, and occasionally I might use some rhyming slang. Not so much since I've been in Spain, but in the UK I would use that a little bit. And yeah, we're very common people.
Well, it's not to us, right? Like that's a fancy accent. And then I noticed how, say, the Beatles and all of the European bands, they don't sound like they're from London, and you start to explain that. Do you want to talk about that, how that ended up being like, how do you choose an accent when you sing?
It's weird. I mean, I don't know why people adopt this accent when they sing. A lot of English singers, when they start singing, they will start to sound American for whatever. I don't know. There seems to be, I don't know. It's very, very strange. Like Adele, for instance, when she talks like that. She's a proper Londoner, and she's like really brash, and she's horrible to listen to. But when she's singing, she's like, hello. It's like, hold on. Where did that come from? That's not you. But we all do it. We're all guilty of doing it. I mean, I've sung in so many different accents and different styles. I have the ability to choose. If I'm doing a reggae song, well, I can do a reggae song, man. I can sing like this, and I can sing like. I've got this ability to choose a particular sound, or if I want to sound more, I don't know, more black, if you like, I can do like, I don't know. I don't want to do a range of voices, but I can do accents, and I can do a rock voice. I can just really reach and find those frequencies, if you like. I can find the anger that's required for a rock song, or I can find the subtlety that's required for a love song. I have that ability, but it's just I have these different accents or different tonalities that I have access to, like a little library that, okay, this song requires that. None of it's really my own voice. If I was to sing in my own voice, it would sound terrible. It just wouldn't sound, maybe if I was to, I don't know if that would work or not, but when people sing, they're not, I don't know. I don't really know what my own sound is really, because I'm always going, this song's a reggae song. Let's put a little reggae twang on it. So if you're singing about the nation, I would phrase it as the nation, like it's like there's just certain little flex that will just make the song sound a little bit more like the original, or it would sound better that way. If I sang a rock song with this voice as I'm talking to you now, it would sound terrible. So I think we all just step into a different character when we're singing. Like Adele's a good example of that, and I think we all do it, really. I don't know why we do it. I just like to mold into the song and choose a voice for that song, and I like having the ability to do that.
That's amazing. Now, your voice, to me, I would characterize as incredibly unaffected, but obviously I'm not hearing from the accent side. There's something else, when ends up, people's voice ends up sounding fake, or it can be processing also in the studio, but it's affected. It's again kind of persona a little bit. Maybe it's the emotion behind it or something. So even though you're using so many different accents, it comes across as very straight in a good way.
There's a lot of processing that goes on in the music industry, because there's so many different techniques. I've used them sometimes, but if you really want to see, this is why I'm gravitating more towards a more acoustic sound these days.
Okay.
Because you can get a real natural raw sound with 2 acoustic guitars and a voice that can actually be more profound and rather than the big production sound where you're doubling up the vocals and you're putting harmonies, and there's so much processing that goes into it. And that's what all of our pop music is. There's so much process. Let's go listen to a Taylor Swift song. It's just like strip down her raw vocal. It won't sound anything like that. But I'm now a big fan of, just an acoustic guitar and a vocal, and a good vocal, and a good harmony. Yeah. Good example of that is actually More Than Words by Extreme. Massive song. It was just a guy on an acoustic guitar and one song and one singer and one harmony. It was a beautiful song, and albeit in 4/40. But songs like that, I think I'm gravitating more to the more natural sound, the more sort of MTV Unplugged era, where there used to be talent. If you've ever seen the MTV Unplugged series, where like Alanis Morissette or Nirvana or Eric Clapton, big fan of that set, it was amazing. So the unplugged, the natural sound, the less processed, not harmony pedals and chorus pedals and reverb pedals and doubling and all of that processing that goes into it. It's more bastardization really, but I think you can get something really pure out of it's something very magical. And it's happened at my house many times where we've had people back at my house. There's a couple of guys, we just pick up acoustic guitars and we play and we sing. And it's just something about the acoustic guitar. We can just pick it up. You don't have to plug it in. You don't have to go, oh, can we have a little bit less gain on that? Can you turn the reverb up or the more bass? And you just pick up the guitar and go. There's something very raw and beautiful about that. So that's why a lot of my stuff on my channel now is like more acoustic and just well thought out and nice harmonies and just pure. And I think there's something I want to take music back to that, actual. Remove the processing. Yes, I put a bit of reverb on there, but that should be all you need, shouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even against it. I'm just really hungry to hear that authentic voice, that unprocessed, or not even unprocessed, because it's all going to come through something. If you were to leave it completely alone, you wouldn't like the sound either, because it's come through those electronics and it, I don't know, flattens or deadens. You do need some reverb, like you need to make it warm. But yeah, there's just something, I can tell the difference. I don't care how talented you are. I've seen many incredibly talented musicians, singers, and they're technically right on and very good in their ability. but
Yeah.
there's something, it's like, it's not.
Sometimes all it takes,
Yeah.
sometimes I would rather have a great song with a really shit recording rather than a great song with
Yes.
all this processing. And I've been
Right.
following people on Facebook. There's a guy, he's clearly a country guy. He's got his overalls on. He's sitting in a boat, and he's just the best songwriter I've ever heard. He
Mm.
just knows how to tell a story, and the quality is not great. He's just a guy with but my God, is it so captivating, because you're just captivated by the rawness of it, because
Yes.
he's telling a story, and you don't, the quality of it kind of goes out the window at that point. You're just listening to a guy on a guitar telling a story about a girl he met in a bar, and it's just like, I think there's a beauty to that.
I agree totally. And Steve was saying that you use your real voice when you guys sing together, and they are your songs in your style. Yeah, that those are some of my all-time
Well, that's
favorites.
what he thinks, but what he doesn't realize is I'm putting on a voice that, no, I'm not putting on. That is actually the real me. Yeah, to be fair, yeah. When I
Right.
work with real musicians and good musicians, the real me comes out. And there's only a few songs where I actually use my real voice, which is just me singing from the heart. But if I want to put a little inflection of reggae there, or if I want to put a rap and I want to sound more street, more urban, more London, I can do that. And I've done that with Steve. Actually, I did a rap in a song with Steve where I kind of go a little bit more urban in that. But I have that ability to do that. I have like a little selection of things I could choose from if I want them. So that's quite a nice thing to have.
Nice. Yeah, it's like a colors painters and the palette.
Yeah,
You got this color and that color, and
yeah.
you can draw it. That doesn't take away from the authenticity to me at all. Trying to really put my finger on, it's probably that intangible thing that you just can't simply describe, and
It's
that's
nice not to be to be pigeonholed into, if I was signed to a label, for instance, and they would, put me in this box of, you can only sing these types of songs, and I don't want to do that. I want to go, oh, do you know what? I'm angry today. I want to do a rock song, or I could do something, in my falsetto, which would make it more, more beautiful or more chilled or whatever. So, I like to be able to experiment with all sorts of genres, and thankfully I didn't sell my soul.
Yeah, brilliant. And what's recognition like for you? Did you go from a time where you felt like you didn't have that to when you did? And
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great one. Yeah, I never got any recognition as a child.
me neither.
Yeah, it's one of my frustrations. It's like, I don't know. I have all sorts of issues with my childhood, but we won't go there. It's not a therapy session. But when I started putting this music out there, I started to get the recognition that I was starved of as a child, I felt. And I was getting that internet hug that I talked about earlier, and that little pat on the back. And it was something I really, really needed and wanted. And that's what spurred me on to do more. People recognizing, what I do. And I try and do as many different things and in many different genres. And I still think I've got so much more to offer. And there's going to be a lot more coming out where people go, oh, I didn't realize he could do that. So it's like a nice little journey where people are giving me this pat on the back. It's really nice to get a pat on the back, an internet hug. It's really nice to get those messages, and to know that you're reaching people and touching people. And my family couldn't see it, and they will never see it. They don't understand me. They will never understand why I do what I do. It's a crying shame. They couldn't see it, and that's really, really frustrating. If it was frustrating for me, I've let it go now quite a lot now, because it's now been replaced with people that do see it, that people that do get it and understand why I sit in this studio for hours and hours a day, why I do what I do, because it has that effect, and I get that recognition now. It's not something that it's not a fuel for what I do, but it's really nice to get those nice comments, So I'm getting the recognition now, and that's a beautiful thing. I feel a little bit more complete,
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. There's two extremes. One where like people can't be okay without the love and approval of others. But then there's also that we can't create in a vacuum, right? If you can't, you can sit and do all the best work all day alone. But if it's not for the sake of connection, there's no purpose in it, right? It's not, you can't just fill yourself up that way. It doesn't work that way. It's the hero's journey, bringing the elixir. And then, yeah, so I mean, my life fell on deaf ears for many, many years until I was like post cancer, actually, that finally it's like, well, what do I have to lose? That life is short, better spend it with people who maybe see me and have some recognition, not so they can blow the smoke up my butt and make me feel good about myself when I really feel bad, but just so that we can be with our people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Being amongst your own is so vital, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned to let go of those things that are holding me back. You know, that my family doesn't get me, my family doesn't understand me. These people, and I've drifted away from that. But what I have found is this whole new world of people that do understand me, that do get me. 80 people came to my villa a few months ago, and it was being surrounded by all of these wonderful people. The vibe was incredible, and I realized that these are my people, these are my family. And I bloody love that.
Yeah. That's our birthright. We need that. For sure.
I've been starved of that. We've all been starved of that. We've all been so misunderstood, haven't we? For so many years, we you know, family, and it's just like, you know, I'm the black sheep. In fact, my rock album is called Black Sheep, and there's a track on there called Black Sheep about being the black sheep of the family, just never fitting in that square peg in a round hole. And then finally, you know, finding my people, you know, that's a beautiful, and inviting them to my house was another weird thing. But yeah, so I feel really vindicated and accepted and appreciated and recognized now. And that is only going to make me want to do more, isn't it?
Right, exactly. I know, because I can get some backlash or, you know, negative feedback here or there, which is not very common anymore, just because I vet my audience pretty good. I'm very myself, so people get turned off with that, and that's perfect. They're just not there. And so yeah, the more you can get out and reveal yourself, the better they can recognize you. This is one of the shadows of the alchemist archetype, is more hiding behind things and not showing your true self, and then you can't be found, right? So it's very difficult to have a tribe that way.
Yeah, no, I love where I am now, and you know, long may it continue, and long may it blossom, and long may it grow. And I'm finding a community even here in Spain. You know, our little cult, as Mike likes to call it, just people under the same, you know, people with the same understanding. It's growing and growing and growing. And I've been here 10 years, but finally, you know, I'm finding my tribe locally and online as well. And once I get my visa issues sorted, I'll be attending more conferences and performing at more conferences as well, because this is my thing now. You know, I'm amongst people that I love, respect, and people that love and respect me. It's a whole new thing in my life, and it's glorious, you know, to be appreciated, you know, to be recognized. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I definitely want to do more of that once I get my travel situation sorted. And but in the meantime, whilst I'm sort of bound to Spain for now, you know, I'm always making more music and just putting my thoughts, you know, into music and hoping that it will resonate with people, which seems to be doing, you know. So you know, long live the truth, and long live truth music and conscious music.
Amen, brother. I love it. So if there was a song to play out, what would you choose? I got your YouTube here. Now, the problem is I'm a member, and I do recommend everyone go and become a member of this channel. But I don't want to play anything that's going to be out of your bounds. So is there something that you could recommend?
What do you mean out of my bounds? You can play anything you want.
I can play something that's members only?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think is the best? Oh, there's Steve with his mouth wide open. That's
Steve. His reaction to that video. Do you know what? You'll Wake Up Someday is very, very popular. If you scroll down a little bit more.
No, Uprising.
Scroll down a little bit more. I mean, we're going back a year or so. Keep going down. Keep going. There, to the right. Down a bit. Up a bit. Sorry. Up. One more. Up one more.
There it is.
There, You Wake Up Someday.
Okay.
That got a lot of traction. That's a great song.
All right. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, you don't care what they're gonna do. You don't like worrying about things that are bigger than you. while your husband and children are sent off to war. You hang up your flag, miss, don't ask much more. You think your side is winning, but you don't know the score. There aren't peace in the East, we are the best in the West. We don't reason very well wearing bulletproof vests. It ain't money that's power, it's knowledge that's king. Better open your eyes, sir, they ain't the same thing. You don't have either, and that's why you're down. That ain't never gonna change while your head's in the ground. They don't want you going anywhere except 6 feet underground. I believe in those dog-lying wolves on the screen, whose words you believe in, whose pockets are green. While you're green with envy, you guess it's okay, long as everybody else is getting stepped on the same way. You think you have freedom, but you'll wake up someday. So they tax you and drug you and work you to death. They defeat you and cheat you until your last breath. Then they poison your body and waste all your time. Then they pull on your strings, but it's all in your mind. You think you make choices, but you're just last in line. They'll be churching you, schooling you, ruling you through, selling you, telling you it's good for you to do. They abuse you, confuse you, and use you each day. Then they paralyze you, sterilize you, that's how they play. And you trust them, you lust them, you do anything they say. Then they make you their pet, 'cause you signed your name away. You think you have freedom, but you'll wake up someday, but still you play. Yes, you think you have freedom, but you'll wake up someday. There's just no way. You think you have freedom, but you'll wake up someday.
Oh man, the harmonies. That just gets me right here. I tell you, the two of you guys, what a pure sound that is. And you might be muted because I had to mute you for your y'all.
Something like that, hopefully. Yeah.
There you
great.
go. Now you can hear.
Oh,
Yeah, so beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your music, for this wonderful conversation. I'm getting a little bit chased. I got someone who wants to come and fix my dishwasher, and I'm going to need that. This is really messy around here right now.
oh, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. We've had boiler problems today. My wife took a cold shower. And I'm decorating. I get it. Go tend to what you need to tend to.
Yeah, exactly. So getting some good appreciation in the chat here. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your holiday season. Thank you again for coming on and spreading your joy. It is kind of the solstice where we're at the shortest moments of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere, at least.
Yeah.
And so it's an auspicious day to do this. Thank you so much. It's been a total pleasure.
You. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, my pleasure. I do have a few announcements, but you're welcome to go or just stick around for that. On the theme of creativity, I'm offering a new course starting in January on the 14th. And this is exactly the process that I use every time I get into a creative slump for one reason or another. If life knocks me around, which it knocks me around fairly regularly, and I've got the tools to heal and recover from that stuff, but it's always okay, like, how am I going to come back into the world now after the world has come to an end? So I'm actually teaching the process of that now, what I've used all my life to get back into a place of being truly inspired and creating from a place of freedom rather than fear. And so I'm excited to offer this 12-week course starting in January. And there's lots of great people signing up right now. The early bird is going to be on only for 7 more days starting today. So the 29th, I'll be back here with Dr. Jacob Lieberman. I don't know if you've heard of him, Alex. He's he's an eye doctor, and he had a spontaneous awakening and is extremely smart. I don't think he's awake. He didn't wake up. He's a doctor. So it'll be like the first person I've hosted since 2020 that really didn't understand what's going on with that. But he's got
enough. I can't wait to tune into that then. That's going to be an interesting conversation.
I know. I'm going to have to be really delicate not to call him out. You never know. I've been known to say hard.
Oh, you'll smash it.
Very good. And so if we're not already acquainted, it's best to come to my website, sign up to do a King Hero Archetype quiz so that we're connected by email and not dependent on these platforms that do come and go. And I've lost an entire channel here already. I'm up on Spotify and iTunes. That's where you can go and find the oldest archives of everything and stuff I probably don't agree with at all anymore. Looks like I can't stream to X anymore. They fraudulently charged me $560 for something I didn't order. So I did a bank dispute, and now they've instantly canceled me. I can't live stream, and wow. So they don't like me anymore. But I just didn't want to pay that money, and I think that's all for now. So you can visit my website, bethmartins.com, for any information about my course coming up or anything else. And definitely go and visit healingwithfrequencies.net and conspiracymusicguru.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep. And the YouTube, here is the video that we just played, by the way, so you can get a direct link to that. And I hope I can have you on again and meet you in person.
Absolutely. Well, one day it will happen, I'm sure.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, you, me, and Steve, we're going to be doing some singing. I'll hold that in mind.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, and I'll send you my music, by the way, as a thank you.
Please do.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your day. I am going to play us out with another piece by my son that he... Sorry, that was too fast. Trigger happy there. And shout out to him, Psycho. He's got a job moving snow right now, so he's working around the clock and really industriously. So shout out to him if he hears this, which I will ask him to listen because it's interesting from the music side.
Sure.
All right, everyone. Thank you, Alex, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Everyone else as well. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.